Good evening, adventurers. We are in the middle of preparing to take the caravan southward from Barabel. We have just finished talking with Gollum, trying to get all the tidbits of information for the lands we are about to head into. Let's hop in and see what Khyber has to say.
Part of me wishes I could come with you on this journey, but a greater portion knows I cannot.
After all, I was quite near to not surviving my last adventure with you, and might have perished among the rocks of the Shield Isles when the Wave Hunter ran aground during the storm. I hope some of the good fortune that spared me will attend you on your next adventure, my friend, and I will eagerly await your safe return to Umbar when it is done. You will have to tell me all about it. But now you plan to return to Darlajar and see how fare the preparations of the Kindred of the Coins. Such things must happen more swiftly in Umbar than in Gondor, for the Kindred possesses all the power of the king, but there are many more of them. Right, let's head on off to the Kindred of the Coins and go see what they're up to. If I recall, it's really roundabout. I wonder if I can just jump down. Ah, I could. That definitely makes it a lot shorter. Sadly though, it doesn't have a back entrance, so I have to ride around to get in the front door. Dr. Harmalek.
Have I given you the impression that my words are mere suggestions and not commands?
How else can it be that Jackbear has denied the Kindred the use of his caravan for this journey? He thinks to increase the treasure he must be paid from the coffers of Barabel, as if there are no other caravans we might hire for this purpose. He is mistaken, and this mistake will be made clear to him. The Kindred of the Coins will not suffer such fools as he. Does he believe I do not punish those who think to take advantage of my mercy or that of my agents? No caravan will accompany your traveling company, Miloa. I will remedy the situation with Jackbear to his detriment, but this matter will not delay your departure. You will travel lighter than we planned. Speak to the others and learn how fare their own preparations. First up, Bellandor. Hail, Bellandor.
Harmalok and Koltek speak of difficulties, but to my eyes, the sun shines upon our road.
Meshka has given her blessing for the journey. My wife came to speak with me on this matter shortly after you left Arlaja, and she made clear her approval of this adventure. She wishes me to avenge our family and those of my crew upon the traitor Azagat and his ally Nakasi, and put these sorrowful days behind us. Meshka's love will follow me on this road, and it will remain when I return home in triumph. I'm ready to depart, the sooner to return. After you have spoken with the others, I will meet you at the east gate of the city, with our eyes turned to the sunrise and the road ahead. Hail, Koltek.
There has been a miscommunication with the owner of the warehouse that was going to supply this expedition.
I will remain and correct this error. but as a result, it will be some time before I can depart. You consider sharing with Koltek the words of Kaibar, who believed the power of the kindred would speed along the preparations, but decide to keep them to yourself instead. Harmelech has had some difficulties of her own arranging for the caravan, but fewer mouths to feed on the journey will require fewer supplies. Her failure makes my own task more simple, which puts a smile on my face. Koltek smiles dangerously, and you take your leave of him. Hail, Rothok.
I cannot leave yet. My kolpeshes are sharp for now, but the quality of the weapons I requested.
To set forth on an unknown road into lands that test the might and the will of a warrior without suitable arms, unacceptable. If we were a ship, I would hold he who disappointed me over the water by 1 foot until he satisfied the bargain. Alas, that remedy is not available here. The fountains of Umbar Barabel are not deep enough. Rothak rumbles in dissatisfaction. There is another problem, but I will not burden you with it. I will say just this. Should a friend of yours gift you an animal, ensure that the men who care for it have bravery enough to feed it or become dinner themselves. Otherwise, it may become an annoyance. Koltek's way as well. I will travel with him when he is ready, and the two of us will meet up with you when we can. Okay. Time to head to the east gate. It'll be much easier traveling with just 2 of us, or a handful of us, as opposed to an entire caravan. Quickest way I think is gonna be go here to the north gate stable and then hop on over to the east gate. Ah.
Fair winds to you.
Here are my friends. The advanced traveling party has assembled at the east gate.
Elondor tells me the rest of our traveling party has been delayed.
But they will join us when they can. I confess the small group is more to my liking, but will this endanger the success of our mission? I would not want to face Azagat and Nakasi in battle without the half-troll at our side.
Rothog and Koltek will join us when they can. For now, this will be our traveling company.
As we venture into pursuit of Azagat and Nakazi, onward to victory and vengeance.
Outside, the city was once alive with caravans, preparing to depart along the road of riches.
When trade with the southern kingdoms thrived, The flat ground to the east of the city was alive with colorful assemblage of tents and caravans preparing to depart along the road of riches. Now there are few, for such trade has slowed to but a trickle. But theirs is the road upon which we will begin, and follow it eastward until we find some sign of Azagath. There should be a guard post east along the road. Let us go there now and see what its sentries have seen. Was Corodan... Oh, there's Corodan and Siglet. I was about to say, they're coming with... No. May as well get on my war steed. Kashik acknowledges the arrival of your traveling party with a raised eyebrow.
What brings you this way, travelers? The caravans have slowed in recent days.
And I have had little company save for the sandflies. They are drawn by the heat and make my days a misery. Kashik peers at each of your companions in turn, and when his gaze reaches Bellandor, he spreads his hands in surprise. Bellandor of the Fleet Fast? This is a pleasure and an honor. The kindred of the coins has spared little thought for me or for Huda, since we were sent to man these posts in the days following their rise. I see now I was mistaken. Come, Joy. Trying to coax my puppy in to come lay down. Here she comes. Good job. Good job. Alright. Let's help Kashik out and kill some of these sandflies that's been bothering him. All the sandflies are taken care of. These monkeys are so ridiculous. Oh, did you guys hear about the monkeys that escaped? Alright.
Now perhaps you will tell me what brings Belongdor of the Fleet Fast to my god post.
I cannot believe it was only to bring some comfort to poor Kashik, guardian of the road. Bellandor explains that the four of you are seeking Azagath's Sea Shadow and Nakasi Wave Reaper, who you believe came this way sometime in the past few days. Kazak gazes into the distance, deep in thought. Okay, there's 5 of us, not 4. Somebody couldn't count. Ah, I wish I could tell you I have seen this traveling party, But you're the only one of that esteemed group to visit poor Kashak outside the city, kinsman Ballandor. Each member of the kindred is well known to the Umbari who dwell in these lands, for we count them heroes, the brave men and women who saved us from the Church of the All-Seeing and the Empire of Ordak. If they wished to remain unseen, they might take pains to stay hidden from the eyes of any Umbari as they traveled. Also, I confess to you that my charge is to watch eastward, not westward, and the sandflies may have affected my vigilance, but no longer, I assure you. If you continue east, you will reach my fellow guardsman Hota, who watches the road where it passes by Telperien's wall and into Amberul. He may have seen something. The folk of that land do not revere the kindred as do the Umbari, and your fellows may not feel as much need for secrecy. Corodan wants to speak to me.
Khashid is right. Azagath and Nakasi may travel more openly in the lands ahead of us.
The kindred of the coins are well known to the Umbari, but as we travel further away from the city, the names and faces of our quarry will be less familiar to the people we meet. But we should speak with Kazak's fellow guardsman Hutta, as his post where the road runs into Amberol. Looks like the guard post is coming up ahead. Ooh, let's take a look at the new map. Let's see. Telperien's wall. We've got the flood spans Zabala. This is probably going to be more like Moorsy type of area. Iridir. And then we've got Tukutzagim. That zone's not available. To Rathdar and to Imhular. I think we've got, it looks like we've got 4 zones possibly to explore. Well, let's set to it.
It is unusual for folk to come this way without a larger caravan behind them, strangers.
I must warn you, the road of riches has become more perilous in recent weeks, and it has never been safe. You ask Hutta if Azagath Sea Shadow or Nakasi Wave Reaper has come this way, and he stares at you blankly. I've not seen Azagath that I can tell you for certain. I cannot imagine what business could bring him so far outside the city, but I am not familiar with this woman's name, this Nakasi. She sounds like a corsair. There is water and marshland in Amberul along the Ikorban River, but I have not heard of corsairs sailing upriver. There is simply nothing there. When I was commanded to keep this guard post, I asked for men to help me guard the length of Telperien's wall, but I was denied. It could be the people you seek passed by the wall further to the north. Perhaps you should patrol that way and see if there is any sign of them. If you can pick up some of the fallen stones along the way, I would appreciate it. From time to time I collect them and stack them here by my guard post, but I have not made the walk recently. Okay, pick up some fallen stone for heirlooms. And let's see what Tail Warden Kazeri has for us.
What news has come in with the tide?
If you please, Miloa, our arrival at Telperien's walls seems to have upset one of my futile wardens. I cannot attend to the young man's needs with my workload. Could you inquire why the man grew melancholy with our arrival? You will find him near the supplies on the south side of the wall, asking what weighs so heavily upon him.
Do you have need of something?
Welcome to our encampment, Miloa. Do not be surprised. Captain Rothok told us to look forward to your arrival. She smiles genuinely. You made an impression on the kindred of the coin, an impression good enough that when Captain Rothok signed on to the expedition here, he asked that we, the Phetekari of Umbar, join them to catalogue the journey. We could use assistance if you are willing. We are small in number and have discovered so much already, and we are only at Telperien's wall. Please speak to my companions, Mashem and Shulega. They will provide more information.
Might you spare a moment?
Mashem nods. Very good. You will want to know why we are here. We Phetekari are an ancient sect of scholars who hid away from the Church of the All-Seeing Eye. Only recently, with Captain Rothok's gracious involvement, have we emerged from our long secrecy. Our purpose is to collect and maintain remnants of the past for posterity and purposes of study and history. In your tongue, we are called tale wardens. We accompany this excursion to catalog and collect the mysteries of the past to maintain for future generations. We will ask for permission to excise any materials we find of historical significance and will record the rest with as much accuracy as we can. For your part, should you help us, Captain Rothok supplied us with trinkets, clothing, and gifts he believes you may find interesting or beneficial. Make certain you speak with Shulega if you have not.
Do you have need of something?
It is good you have come to me, Miloa. I overheard your conversation with Kazeri, and I am pleased to show you the wares that Captain Rothok sent with us to Ikorban. Your assistance with collecting information, relics, and curiosities of the past allows me to offer you access to our small menagerie of treasures. You must be cautious not to upset or remove important Ikorbani relics. We are observers and outsiders here. What little we know of the conflict in this land forces us to use great caution lest we make ourselves an enemy of the Ikorbani. We are historians and catalogers. Let us do right here, my friend. We will send word to you when your assistance warrants greater reward. After you speak with Meshem, return to Kazeri.
May you spare a moment?
Your reputation, Miloa, speaks of a trustworthy and noble spirit. We hope you see the merit in our charge in this land. There are many secrets in these lands. There is history here in the valley of Ikorban, suppressed too long beneath a yoke of oppression and a veil of superstition. We seek only to understand the past of this land, our ancestors, and ensure that no harm comes to their memory due to the actions of the Sea Shadow. Alright, got some rep coins.
There is much to be done, and fewer hands by which to do it.
This is from the Awkward Step talking to Raffles. The young man seems flustered as you approach. How can I assist you? You explain the request from Kazeri. It appears I have not masked my mood well enough to keep it from notice. This bodes poorly for me. My first steps outside of Umbar, and already I am a failure. You see, back along the road to the northwest, I spied a vision in the distance and strayed from the trail, only for a moment, but long enough to lose pace with the caravan. In my haste and struggle to return, I lost my cataloging pack. Before I could explain, Kazeri set me to organize this cart. I know where I lost my pack, but I cannot leave my post. I wonder, would you look southwest just off the road near a rock outcropping and find my pack? I'll confess my failure to Kazeri and accept whatever fate befalls me. Sure. Rafuz, let me ride back real quick. Go find your pack for you, make sure all of that's good. I also looks like I have to head back anyways because I need to pick up some rocks and do some scouting for of the wall myself. Well, hang on. This back's gonna be back the way we came, so let's go do that first. You see a figure watching you from the northwest. You see a pack on the ground and nothing else. Weird. Where's this pack? There's the pack. We found the pack. But who was that? We'll return the pack to him in a minute. Let's see if we can... I don't know if we can cross this wall. My guess is gonna be no. It looks pretty solid. Found your pack, Rose.
There is much to be done, and few are hands by which to do it.
Rafuz looks excited as you approach. You found my pack! I am blessed. If I lost this pack, the dishonor I would bring my father's name would be unbearable. His smile fades. I have nothing to offer you for this kindness. In truth, I do not know if I am worth your kindness. I do not know if I should have joined the Phetekari or made this journey. Everything moved so quickly when my mother passed. The decision to join the Tail Warden seemed right. Now, I am unsure. Thank you. Please tell Kazeri you helped me. Put her at ease. I will find my bearing.
What news has come in with the tide?
He could have told me plainly. We have more packs. We are not expecting to only fill one catalog in our time here. Rafuz, you could have asked me for another pack. We have plenty. Alright. Time to go patrol the north side of the wall. Hang on. Have another ring back here.
What news has come in with the tide?
Thank you again for your assistance with my pack. I was foolish to think Gazari would cut me loose for such a simple transgression. I know I said I have nothing to offer your kindness, but I remembered I have some fine tobacco from Umbar I can share. We can sit and share, if you wish. We can sit and talk for a while. Instance a promise kept. Join Rafuz by the fire. Rafuz smiled as you approached and asked you to join him. Please come and sit by my fire. I am grateful for your assistance, Miloa. When I lost my pack, I thought I would lose my post and shame my family. Now I question whether I should leave my post on my own accord. Why, you ask? I saw a woman back on the road before Telperien's wall. It is why I stopped and ventured away from the caravan. My mother warned of the visions and voices of Shagana as she lay on her deathbed. Not even a week out of Umbar, I see my first vision. Lose the pack I need for my livelihood and try to hide it. You must think me a fool. No, I totally do not. You saw the vision too. Maybe it was no vision. I wanted to talk to her. I wanted to ask her why she stood so far from the caravan. Was she following us? Watching us? Why? As I strayed, my mother's voice came into my head. Be wary of the voices in Shagana. They will tempt you. They will make you wander and follow you them to your death. As I drew near, I saw she looked beautiful but fierce, akin to a storm in the summer. I heard a call from the caravan and turned. Gazeri beckoned me to return to the caravan. When I turned back, the woman was gone. I thought it was my mother's tale made manifest. My mother was Umbari and my father was Shagani. They met in the lower docks of the city. We lived a wonderful life. When my father died years ago, naturally, my mother followed him within the past several months. Before she passed, she bid me return to my father's homeland to restore his name. That story is best saved for another time. My father fled Chagana in disgrace. I pledged to my mother I would restore his name. I took work with the Phetekari because I had no other means to travel here. I expected the work would keep me busy enough while I learned what I could of my father and how I could restore his name. The training was not hard, but came with warnings of what we may face in Chagana. Little is known of the people, my father's people. We know the Urdaki held power here until the temples fell in Umbar, and now my father's people rebel against the Urdakai. We are here to observe and preserve. How can I uphold my promise if I am only to observe? And now a woman haunts my waking moments. Not a woman I have met, not a beauty I saw only from afar, whose freedom stirs me deeply. I began this journey as a boy. They are the stories of my father and mother. I hoped to fill it with stories of my own. It is because of your actions I still have this opportunity. I am sorry I cannot offer you more than a sad story from a confused young man, a smoke, and some tea for your efforts.
Do you have need of something?
Thank you for listening and sharing my tobacco. I'm unsure what my future holds. I'm glad we spoke. You have a good ear for conversation. Anytime you need to talk, Raffus, I am here. Here to help you, man. But for now, I have to go patrol the northern wall. And we are looking for stones to pick up. Here are some wall stones. I haven't checked my crafting panel yet. Okay, I'm maxed out on everything. Ah, it's the Knickerbeakers making a comeback. They just have a different name. Insect Slayer. Oh, did I get all? I got all the stones. Okay. big hole in the wall over here. That's gonna be hard to defend if we need to in the future. Looks like it was blown open by something.
Thank you for collecting these stones. I understand you did not see the people you seek?
I'm sorry, but I appreciate you following the ruins of the wall to the north and back again. I do not patrol its length as often as perhaps I should. Ordak is a long way from here, across the southern desert, and their soldiers are in disarray. Even with the wall in such a state of disrepair, I do not think the Ordakai can pose much of a threat to Umbar without the sorcery of their Dark Lord. How can they hope to threaten our soldiers? Perhaps I can soon return home, Kinsman Bollandor?
I can make no such decision today, Guardsman Huta.
Bollandor turns his gaze upon the remains of Telperien's wall, and when he speaks again, his tone is thoughtful. A queen of Numenor ordered the building of this wall long ago to protect her coastal holdings from the inland peoples of Shagana. It was damaged over the centuries by war, by the shifting of the earth, and by the passage of time. She and the folk she sought to protect have been dead for thousands of years, but Telperien's wall still stands, in large part marking that ancient desire. The things we built outlast us, Guardsman Huda. What has Umbar built?
We must build for ourselves lives of peace and safety that can become the envy of all the world.
I cannot say what will remain 1,000 years from now, but from my heart I speak when I say Umbari must not suffer beneath the heel of a distant power, not Urdak, not Mordor, and not Gondor. We must build for ourselves lives of peace and safety that can become the envy of all the world. Huda stands up straighter and taller than before. I will not disappoint you, Kinsman Bellandor. If I allowed my watchfulness to wane in recent days, I apologize for it. No longer. As you pass into Umbarul, I suggest you follow the road along the marsh until it turns south. That will bring you to the largest settlement of the region, a town built on wooden pilings that the people there called Iridir. I have seen the women warriors of that place from afar, and they appear quite deadly with the weapons they carry. You should introduce yourself to them before they consider you to be strangers and introduce themselves to you, if you take my meaning. It would be wisest for you to approach them on friendly terms while you have the opportunity. Before I set off, let's go ahead and see what Quartermaster Shulega
Do you have
has
need
to
of
offer.
something?
We've got a quick bird call. That's kind of cool. Looks like several housing items. Charcoal rubbing kits. A charcoal kit for taking impressions and rubbings of old carvings and runes. This method of collecting historical information does not damage the relics. This to me sounds like a scholar quest, and this tune of mine is a scholar. Well stocked. Oh, I can make my own. Okay, why can I not barter for it yet? My standing is too low. Okay. So this looks like a brand new mechanism we're gonna have. Let me just take a couple of notes here. we've got of interest here, we've got, for me at least, is the quick bird call, which sounds like that might be an emote. We've got the recipe, scholar recipe, for the well-stocked charcoal rubbing kit. We also can barter for well-stocked charcoal rubbing kits. Not sure what that's going to give us, but hopefully something good, right? We've got golden flowers, which is also an emote. Anything else? Bunches of decorations. Then we've got the...
Might you spare a moment?
Sorry. We have the unlabeled firework emote. Lots of stuff here. Lots of emotes, okay. Illuminating lantern. Place a small lantern on the ground to have a bit of extra light in the darkest places. And then we've got a confusing map. What's this one? A map that leads to fantastic treasures and riches if only one could read it. This one sounds like one of those, like, where you eat the cheese and you wake up in somewhere that you didn't know existed. And then mysteriously full pipe. Alright, let me grab a screenshot of all of these emotes. So nothing quite yet for improvement of my class, but at least it does seem that there's going to be some fun emotes to work towards with all the coins that I'll be gathering up. Let's head off to the next zone. We're going to go right to Iridir and explore this landscape a little bit. Somebody needs our assistance.
What say you, traveler?
Ashtal Gur, traveler, what brings you to our lands? The old woman looks at you wearily. I hope you are not here to cause trouble, as we have enough of that already. I am weary of it. Though, to be fair, I was weary already. I have done this work my whole life, but harvesting rice is demanding. It is early yet in the season, but the food is needed. Many farms have been destroyed or abandoned because there are scant workers. You look rather fit. Would you mind helping an old woman? In the fields to the east you can find some rice that can be harvested. Collect the stalks and bring them to me while I rest.
This valley belongs to the Shagani, and no one else.
I love the title. Oh dear. Are you any good at hunting game? The fallow deer have been just dreadful this year. We always have a little problem with them eating the crop, but of late they have been overmuch. Hunting some deer would do us much good, and the meat would not be unwelcomed. It could be used to make a tasty stew that would keep my son and myself fed for quite some time. It will be my pleasure to assist. Collected all the venison. Let's wrap up the rice.
This valley belongs to the Shagani, and no one else.
Thank you so much for your help. These must dry before threshing, so don't worry. I won't ask you to do that part. Thank you, because I don't think I can stick around that long, Arama.
Travel with care, friend. Dangers are all about.
Hope you guys enjoy the meat.
Is there something you need?
Actually, there is. Forgive me, I mentioned my son to you twice and have not introduced you. His name is Terezi, and he is behind the house to the south. He might enjoy meeting you. He was injured in the war and returned a man unlike the one who had left. Please, if you have time, mayhap you could talk to him? I think he feels very alone, and maybe the company of someone worldly like yourself could do him some good. Oh, he's got a training dummy up.
We have weathered much. And for what?
Who are you? The young man is clearly alarmed by your approach. You tell him you had been helping his mother with some farm chores, and she asked you to introduce yourself to him. His shoulders relax, but he still holds suspicion in his eyes. My apologies. We don't see strangers in this land often, and when we do, they usually mean us harm. What brings you to our farm? You tell him that you often take the time to help others while you go about your travels. A noble undertaking, though you might find that there are more people in need of help in Umberwool than you can handle.
Leave me be, stranger.
If you are looking for someone in need of help, then you have found one. The man flushes with embarrassment. It pains me to speak of it, but thieves have stolen some of our rice that was ready to go to market. Normally I would track them down and get it back myself, but he looks down at where his now amputated arm once was. I have been training, but I'm not yet skilled at fighting right-handed. His embarrassment quickly shifts to anger. I will have you know that I am not helpless. I grow stronger by the day. I am a capable man, and I can do my own work on the farm. I only ask for your aid because we are in dire need of the income we would get from selling the rice. I'm not destitute, though, and need no charity. I will pay you to deal with these bandits. You will likely find them to the north of the farm. Sure, Teresi, I would be happy to take care of that for you. Let me go beat up some of these bandits, and I will get you your rice back. Why can I summon in here? That was weird. Alright, let's see. Still in livelihood. Looks like the bandit camp. There are a couple of them. Not really off to the north now, are they? But let's see if there's any of them. Ah, here's a small bandit camp. It's probably these guys he was referring to. Let's take care of them. I searched all their bodies and found at least some rice, but I am still looking for one more. Let me try. Oh wow, the respawn rate was ridiculous. Okay, I am not complaining. There is something glowing back here. Ah, treasure cache. Let me make note of this. Let's bring the rice to Teresi. Hopefully this wouldn't be enough to see them through. Here's your rice for you.
Leave me be, stranger.
You have done it, truly. I did not expect you to return. I cannot thank you enough for bringing back our goods. Some coin will have to do.
Life is always a struggle in Shagana.
I have another trouble you could help me with, should you be willing. There are wild cats that live in the untamed lands in the north. At least that is where they should be living. Of late they have been prowling our fields and frightening my mother as she goes about her work. If you are willing to slay some of the vexing animals, let us not be wasteful. Bring me their pelts and I will put them to good use next winter. Looking for some cats now. Not quite sure what they're called. We shall see. Okay, caracal is what they're called. Looks like they're to the west of the farm. That took care of all the kitties.
Life is always a struggle in Shagana.
Hope those pelts help you, Teresi.
I don't know how much more we can endure.
You'll be surprised what people can endure. Thank you for your help, Miloa. I dislike asking for aid, but I'm glad that I did. If your travels happen to be taking you east, I would ask one last thing of you. There is a papyrus farm just east, along the river's edge. The man's face turns beet red. There is a young lady there. I knew this was coming. Zulmer, who does some rather dangerous work. The papyrus bogs are rife with crocodiles and zazani. I think you would call them neekers? Yes, neeker breakers. It would bring me comfort if you could visit and see that she fares well. Thank you, friend, and good luck on all your travels. Do you have like a secret message you wanted me to give her, or just tell her in general how you're feeling? Don't worry, I'm just jesting. Of course, I'll check on Solmor for you. Good luck! Alright. I don't want to go through the bog. Let's go around because it'll be faster. Swatting flies. These look like orange trees. Hopefully we will collect some flies along the way. You have discovered Meheter.
Nihu! It is good to see you.
Oh, Hashtalgur, stranger. Terezi sent you to see if I am well. She blushes. Looks like this feeling's gonna be mutual. I am as well as can be expected, I suppose. How is Terezi? You tell her that he is well, perhaps a bit stubborn, but not too stubborn to ask someone for help when he needs it. The woman laughs. That sounds like a welcome improvement.
Hashtalgur, stranger.
The reeds grow easily here, but one must tread carefully in the bog. There is no small amount of crocodiles and zizania among the reeds. Verily, they seem to be more hostile of late. It is concerning. Are you a hunter? If you are apt to fighting, I would not complain if you were to rid me of the beasts. I can offer you a small reward for your trouble.
Nihu! It is good to see you.
Would you like to learn how papyrus is not made? I have not seen the wood pulp paper used in the West, but I have heard about it. They say the surface is very smooth, but it tears easily and is not as long-lasting. Papyrus sheets are strong and durable. You also have more reeds than trees. She laughs and get the impression that she truly enjoys her work. The first thing you need to make papyrus sheets is papyrus the plant. Go into the marsh to the southwest and collect some reeds. Look for reeds with good, strong stalks. Bring them back here and you are done. And do not forget to watch for crocodiles. Ooh, these are little pretty purple flowers. Wonder what kind they are. Well, let me turn floaty names on. There we go. That was a scary sound. Nice, you can run underneath the bridge there. All done, Solmer. Saved you a trip.
Hastal Gur, stranger. It is a new day.
That concludes today's adventure. Thanks for watching and happy hunting!